everybody, this is Tambioto coming at you with another third-party Transformers video review. And this time I have ToyWorld's TW-T03 Trace, which is ToyWorld's version of the Throttlebot Chase. Right, so taking a look at the box, you can see that this time the box is majority red. Through the window you can see a Trace in his vehicle mode. And on the side we're going to get a picture of the vehicle mode from the rear portion. Then we get him in robot and vehicle, and then a picture of him from the rear. Then on the bottom we get a couple warning labels, and then on top we get the ToyWorld logo. So let's go ahead and open this guy up and check him out. Alright, and here we have Trace out of the box and in his vehicle mode. So along with the figure, inside the box we get his instructions, which are very simple. They don't have a lot of steps, but I did find that some of the steps were kind of glossed over just a little bit. With some of the transformation with the hood becoming the chest and stuff like that, it didn't really show step-by-step detail. I'll get to that in that portion of the review. He comes with his thick card again, with a picture of him, and then some more pictures and his little tech specs. And then he also comes with his weapon. And the instructions they showed to attach it like this, where you just take it and wedge it up in this little notch underneath here. And I was getting it in the other day. Here we go. There you go. So you can just take it and wedge it in there in that little notch. It's a little tight, but it's really weird because then the gun sticks out. I don't know if they meant for that to be kind of part of the tailpipe or whatever. I know the other releases they used some of the extension from the gun as a tailpipe, but if you look at the picture of the box on the side where it shows kind of the rear of them, it shows that it's actually turned around. So it shows that it's kind of in this direction, which would make more sense because then it doesn't have this weird bulge kind of sticking out. But then you have this, so I don't know. I don't think I'm really going to keep him in this mode. I'll have him in his robot mode, and then whenever all 5 or all 6, I don't know how many they're going to use to make the combiner, since they haven't really shown any pictures of him together or anything. And then they haven't shown, I don't think they've shown any pictures of anything after this guy. What was my train of thought? Yeah, I'm gonna have him in the robot mode, and then eventually in his combiner mode. So having that gun having that gun pegged underneath there doesn't really bother me one way or another, because he's not gonna be in that mode. Alright, so go ahead and take a look at the car real quick. He does roll pretty good. I do have a little bit of gapping right here. I know when I originally got him, he didn't have any gapping issues or anything like that. I don't know if me transforming him and then transforming him back, maybe I didn't slide a piece exactly right. Alright, so as you can see, the windshields and everything are in a very glossy black paint, with some of the details done in a flat black. The wheels are a very nice silver rim with a red highlight or pinstriping in between it and the black tire. Then we have very nice detailing right here on the exhaust pipes, and even really nice detailing on the rearview mirrors. I've always found that ToyWorld does really good paint jobs on their stuff, that it's not really lacking, and they're not leaving things out. So again, they've done a pretty good job on that. So taking a look on the other side, you can see robot head and some other pieces. But Alright, and let me go ahead and get in on how to transform this guy. Alright, first we want to come over here and get up underneath all this stuff, and we need to kind of pull on this middle section and kind of pull this stuff apart, because there's a little tab that tabs into right here. That's on this portion right here. You can't really see it that well from underneath here, but that's what you got to do. And then just pull it out like that, and then you take it and kind of lower it down. And there's a kind of a double hinge. There's a hinge in this knee portion right here, and then a hinge on the inside, and you can just kind of take it out, and I'll just leave it there for right now. Just kind of pull it out just a little bit, and then I'll show the rest of it later. And then we'll come over here to where the arms are, and remember how to detach this. I think we just go like that, and there's a peg and stuff that's in there, and you're just gonna pull here, and it's gonna pull this window and all that. I'll go ahead and pull that out. Detach there, and kind of go down like that. Alright, so next we're going to take this portion, and you can fold this up just a little bit to get it out of the way. And we're going to go, and the easiest thing that I figured out how to do is take the hood and just kind of push it down a little bit like that, and it pops everything out. It pops this out, and it pops this out. So we'll just leave that right there, and then take this portion, and you're going to have to kind of wedge it down and then pull it up on top. So it's going to go on top like that, and then you're going to take, and alright, so that's hinged out, and you're going to take and rotate all this around. And once you have that rotated around, you can rotate that waist around, and then I'll show you with the legs that were double hinged. So there's a hinge right there and then a hinge right there, and you just want to straighten that up. And I kind of wish that this would lock into place someplace, because once you have it in robot mode, these hinges like to move a lot. But go ahead and zoom out a little bit. So, okay, so with that done comes the weird portion that has to do with the hood. In the instructions, it shows just taking the hood and flipping it forward. That does not work. It's on all kinds of joints. There's a joint that's in here where you can slide it forward, backwards, and rotate it on that joint. And then there's a hinge where you can rotate the hood left and right. So you go like that, and let me get this out of the way, lower this back down. Get that, and you can rotate that around, and then see how it's on that hinge right there? You take it and then rotate it that away. But first what we're going to do is take these shoulders. These shoulders are on a joint right here, so you can actually take and rotate up these shoulders. You want to get them as high as you can get them, all the way to the top, or as far as you can get them without hindering that turnaround, because it's going to stop at that certain point. So go ahead and raise them up as far as you can. And I'm pushing this joint right here. There's a joint inside here that allows you to raise this shoulder joint. So once we get that, we'll rotate that around. You have your head right here. And then what we want to do is take this, there's a cut right here, I'm going to take and pop that apart. And then there's there's a joint right here and then a joint right here. You just want to lift that up just a little bit. And then do that with this side, and then you want to take this and flip it under. And then see how you get to a certain part on the head, it actually will stop this shoulder joint. So you want to go all the way up with that shoulder joint. If you go as high as you can, then it keeps it from turning the head around. And there's another portion that'll keep it from turning the head around too. So go all the way up. Alright, so let me lift these hands up. Alright, so that open that up a little bit. Alright, now what you want to do is you want to take this, guide it into here. You don't want to push it all the way flat back, because then it won't work. Alright, so now you want to slide this head back just a little bit, and see how it'll and there's a little notch that's cut out, and you're going to slide it all the way back to where this portion is. And then these, which were the side of the front grill, is actually going to tab in from right here into there. So tab both sides. See, right there, and then right there. And that'll hold that in place a little bit better also. So you have that, and you have that, and that. Alright, so now we're going to work on this back piece a little bit. You can take it and rotate it down, and it'll go into, you see it already kind of doing it. You can take it and go into here, and see how that is now into this portion on the back. And we'll go ahead and go into this section and do that. And then it's just gonna kind of, these pieces will just stay right here. They're not tabbed into anything. They just kind of stay. And then you want to drop down this portion. It's on the two hinges. You want to drop that down, so that'll slide down like that. And then to transform the arms, come over here, and at this portion right here, I'm going to grab on both sides and pull, and it extends the arm so that you can get the shoulder joint, or the elbow joint. And then flip out the fist. Then you're going to take this portion, push it in all the way, and then pull on it just a little bit. Take and rotate that up just a little bit, and there's a notch right here that's going to tab into this portion right here. So you just rotate that around, and it tabs into there. And that's one arm. And then for the other arm, you're going to do the same thing. Extend it, then come over here, flip the fist out, then extend this little shaft through the whole piece. And then you're going to rotate this to tab this into here. And there you have arm number 2. And now for the feet, again with the feet, they showed part of the transformation and not all of it. With the front part, you just flip it forward like that. And then with the rear portion, you want to go, and this is a hinge right here, so you can actually flip it back like that, and then take it and rotate it like this. And it's actually going to stand, I've got it to stand better on this portion right here. And that's actually the way that it shows it standing on the instructions, but not the instructions, on the box. But on the instructions, it doesn't show it. It just shows and says flip it out. And it's like, okay, well, so what are we doing? Come here, then rotate. Oops, rotate that. Oops, sorry, I rotated it the wrong way. Rotate it that way. So mainly what you want to do is you want to make a flat surface. Just looking at this, at this front part of the leg, or the front part of the foot, you're going to look at this. There's a line that'll go here, and then it'll go kind of here with the bottom of the foot, and then that'll make a sturdy foot for you. So we'll make it sturdy on this side real quick. all the time. Feels like I'm always just fiddling around with Transformers in all my videos and just fiddling around with it just a little bit more just to make it correct. It's like that's where most of my time goes to in my videos. So I gotta fiddle with this to make him stand up straight. There's Trace in his robot mode. And once you have it figured out the first time, he's not that hard. It's just figuring him out the first time. Just because they leave out so many steps with this thing, they don't tell about the slipping back and forth. They just show flipping it over, and it looks like you can just flip it over his head, but you can't do that. Then with the legs, once you figure that out, it's pretty easy. So take his gun and peg it into his hands. And it's actually really tight going in there. He holds onto it very tightly. So I want to give you a quick 360 degree view of him. And this top portion of the roof portion actually folds up pretty well on his back. It's not sticking out way too far. He does have a little bit of light piping. I don't have enough light directly shining in there to actually make it do anything. But as for articulation, he has a ball jointed head, so you can get up and down, left and right movement. He does have double jointed shoulders. There's a joint in the top part of the shoulder that allows the shoulder to go up and down, and then there's a ball joint in this part of the shoulder which allows you to move forward, back, and then there's a cut in it so you can go out like that, but then if you want to raise it all the way up, then you can move it on that joint that's right here. He does have a cut in the top portion of his bicep, and then he has his elbow joint, which allows you to get about a about 90 degree bend on it. And his hand doesn't have any kind of swivel, but it can bend down just a little bit because of transformation. His waist does turn. He does have a waist turn, but it's on the lower part of the waist, not the upper part. He does have a ball joint for his legs at the hip, so that you can move it forward, and then backwards, and a cut that allows you to move it out. Then there's a cut right here at the top of the thigh to allow you to turn his leg. And then the unfortunate thing is with it transformed like this, he has no knee joint. So you can't bend the knee or anything. You can go like that and then kind of make a knee joint. I don't know if you want to turn it. Oh, okay. So if you turn it like that, then you do get a knee joint. Gosh. Something else that you have to figure out that wasn't told in the instructions. So, yeah, like that. God. So originally I had it transformed where this silver part was on the front, but I figured out now if you turn it, that you get the knee joint. For his feet, he has a joint right here in the ankle that allows you to rock it out so you can angle his foot in a wider stance. Then you can move his toe up, or the front of his foot up and down. There's a ball joint in here, so if you need to get different heel alignment, you can totally do that. I think that this is a nice addition to the ToyWorld ThrottleBot series, that they're nice updates to the original kind of bulky, stubby little guys, and that they've taken some new kind of obscure cars, totally gone ahead and made them totally transformable and look good in both their cars and their robot modes. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this review. Don't forget to subscribe, like my Facebook page, follow me on Twitter. This has been Tambiota, and I'll see you next time.